I don't care if you consider yourself one of the most honest people in the world, we are all liars.
Did you just call me a liar?
While some of us may not be proficient liars in terms of lying to other people, the one thing that we do seem to be proficient at is lying to ourselves.
That's true.
And even if it's not consciously, we tend to lie to ourselves in ways that can actually hold us back from pursuing and doing a lot of the things that we'd like to do in this world. So I'd like to present to you 6 lies that we tend to tell ourselves and the consequences of believing them.
I'm scared.
Number 1 is that I was born this way. Now for some of us, this may be a point of pride. It's something that, I came to the earth that way, I'm happy that I am that way, and I want to stay that way. For those things, it's awesome.
Oh, thank God.
But another thing that this can actually do, and the consequence to believing I was born this way, is that it can actually be quite belittling and also quite limiting in terms of who we are. It can justify stubbornness. It's one thing to feel proud of the things that you want to stay and maintain as part of you, but it's another thing to be completely closed-minded to anything else. We all change in life. We've all changed to this point, whether or not you believe that you have. So the more that you believe that you're born a certain way, the more closed-minded you are to adopting and to optimizing yourself to everything that you learn through the human experience.
But I've learned so much.
Number 2 is that it's a dog-eat-dog world. Now, we may not say those exact words, but the belief system itself is that everyone is always out to get someone else. And while this may be true, especially in the business sense,
hey, tell me about it.
Believing this makes us all really untrusting of one another and can make us be a lot meaner or ruder to one another than we actually need to be. Just as there are so many examples of things that prove that this world is dog-eat-dog, there are just as many that prove how much we care for one another, how much we have each other's best interests in mind, and how much we want to come together as a community. It's a matter of what you choose to look at. So rather than fully believing in this whole idea that the world is out to get you, search for a balance and remind yourself that just as much as it's a dog-eat-dog world, it's a dog-pet-dog world as well.
What the hell did you just say?
Number 3 is that you can't change the world. Well, I know this may be true for the most part, in the sense of one person would have a very difficult time or would really need to go very extensively out of their way to try and make a grand change. But the bottom line is, you can change how you perceive the world and how you experience the world, which really is, from your perspective, changing the world.
I'm so damn confused.
So stop putting yourself down, stop believing that you can't do things, stop being a passion killer on yourself. Do the things that are most important to you and know that you can change the way you see the world, ultimately changing the world that you live in. Number 4 is I'll start tomorrow or next week or next month, whatever time variable you want to do. We all seem to love doing this one. It's this whole idea that we know what we want to do. We have this goal in mind. We have this lifestyle change we want to make, but it's not going to start right now. It's going to start at some point in the future. And what happens when we get to that point? It may kick in for a little bit, but it tends to not get that life, or it may be completely forgotten and is put off for the perpetual tomorrow, which never seems to come.
I am very sure that I don't know what you're talking about.
Rather than always putting things off for then, instead embrace the now. Realize that you are never going to be younger than you are right now in this life, so embrace this moment and make the most of it. Be someone who takes action immediately rather than always pushes things to another time. Number 5 is I'm going to look stupid if fill in the blank. It's this whole idea that we had something come to mind that we would like to do, that if nobody else was around or it wasn't going to involve anybody else, we would do it.
Just take those old records off the shelf.
But because we're concerned about what person A and person B might think about it, we hold ourselves back. We don't actually do what we want to do or what we would have done otherwise. Does that sound like actually living? No, it doesn't. The bottom line is that no matter what you do, even if you dedicate your entire life to trying to be a people pleaser, there are always going to be people that don't like what you're doing or don't like who you are. But there are also always going to be people that love who you are and love what you're doing. So choose to just be yourself and don't let other people, don't give them the power, which is the consequence of this, of dictating your life. Choose to keep the power within yourself and what you do and don't do. The 6th and final one is it's too late. It's this whole idea that if I had realized this a long time ago, or if I had known this back then, or if I had the courage to take action on it at that point, I would have done it. But now I'm past my prime. That's just not for me. The next generation will take care of it. I can't do it anymore.
Okay, that's enough. Stop, please.
These are all limiting beliefs that we need to stop telling ourselves. The bottom line is, like I said before, you are never going to be younger in this life than you are right now. And there are always ample examples of people who have done great things at ages older than you currently are. And I don't care how old you are, that is the truth. Look it up. Find inspiration in whoever you need to find inspiration from, because it's never too late. So stop being so pessimistic about things and be more optimistic of your ability to do things right now. To see a new video like this weekly, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel or to like me on Facebook to be a part of my mission and make personal development more interesting for both of us.